Hello good peoples, and welcome back to the legend of Let's Find Aino a Better Weapon. And that was my phone actually informing me that I am live, I hope. The first thing we're actually going to do isn't going to be going into Twigroot Forest like I said, it's going to be going back and opening that chest with the lockpicks which I mentioned. Because I've just remembered where the lockpicks actually are. And give me a second, because I'm a very uncoordinated and unorganized person, I forgot to put in my headphones. So I'm just going to fix that up before we get the game audio all coming through my microphone. This is just going to be a quick run back through, I think this is called Shipwreck Cave. But yes, lockpicks are interchangeably used for chests. I never actually explored down this way because I'm a fool who doesn't look at his map. There they are. Healing Potion and also the Scroll of Shock, which is the other spell I've been using on Zimboy here. The other one that I didn't actually find the scroll for before I started using it. And the chest is through there because I'm ugh. Anyway, lockpicks are almost always located near to the chests that they open. Well, like I said, you can use them on any chest, but there's usually lockpicks hidden around nearby to them. And here we have the Thrailm Tribal Mask and another healing potion. This is light armor, so on the walk back I'll explain how armor and skills in general work. As you can see here, it gives protection +3, energy +5, and -5 evasion if I don't have the light armor proficiency. Now if we go up to skills in armor here, we can see there's up to 5 points I can put into it. There's a little pip on the second and fourth. When you hit certain milestones in skills, you get things associated with them. In this case, 2 points in gives me light armor proficiency, removing the evasion penalty for wearing it. 4 is heavy armor proficiency, the same deal. Now this applies to everything. For instance, Nosferatu's light weapons, when she gets 1 more point, she'll get the ability to dual wield so long as one of the weapons she's carrying is a dagger. At 5 points there's another one that lets her dual wield any light weapons. Anyway, back into the Twigroot Forest. And it's at least a change of scenery from Shipwreck Beach. So let's get to exploring. It's also... the game is starting to open up. You might notice this bush is a little more dense, because that's a Twigroot. Come along, little fella. Come on, show off your trick. I'll lure it out to an open area so I can move around and show you how they work. Take your time. Ah. There we go. They can cartwheel, so they can move sideways without turning. You are always going to be disappointing, aren't you? I swear, Azanaka won't always be useless. Like, this pistol, even if firearms are bad in general, this pistol is especially bad. There are actually a lot of Twigroots around here. However, fortunately for me, they're made of wood. And wood burns, so Zimboy is once again our best boy. Gotta keep an eye on that flipping. As you can see, there's actually a real dent into Nosferatu already. Yep. Keep an eye on the herbs. Eventually extra herbs will spawn alongside them. It's still annoying, I've got to keep going to my inventory to resort them, but it's free herbs. It's used to make healing potions and mana potions and a couple of other things, which I'll get into later. Let's take a quick look at this. You need a certain degree of skill in alchemy to make all the potions in the game. Just gotta keep an eye that I don't get caught in these corridors. Oh yeah, I've only just noticed that. If you look on the image of the chest, on that little red label, it's a triangle with a line under it. It's actually the alchemical symbol for fire in the game. That actually comes up in a few places. We'll find bombs later which cast elemental. Also, I didn't even comment on it. We're down into the Twigroot tunnels. A special large area running underneath most of the Twigroot forest. That's also why this episode is going to be a bit longer. The Twigroot forest is a lot larger. Very simple puzzle here. We just throw any old thing. You can throw items simply by clicking in the... if you click in the top half of the screen, you throw them. In the bottom half, we put them down on the ground. So let's keep ourselves aware, because I can't remember exactly what's everywhere. Oh, minus the light just got a bit flickery. My torch is burning out. Easily solved. If you put a torch in a sconce, it'll last forever. Oh, meet the undead crusader. Come on, buddy. I'm not walking up to you. I'll show you their trick, even though I don't want to. Come on. Their trick is, they can turn and attack at the same time. So I can't just simply flank. I've got to actually wait for him to walk, so he's busy walking rather than attacking. 4 damage. Oh my god. But guess what? They're weak to lightning. Zimboy, best boy. Ooh, and they actually hit really hard. So I'm going to have to stop pissing about. That's the problem. Dodge tanks don't work great in this. Whoops. Don't work great in this game. Okay, 3 damage was enough. I'm going to be putting light armor on Nosferatu eventually. Tattered Cloak gives her a little more evasion at least. Gotta remember to keep an eye out for secret buttons. You never know when there's going to be one. Well, I do, but... Also, I could take this scroll off and jump down that hole. So I'm going to. Ow, my ankles. Actually, I say ow, my ankles. You really can hurt your ankles while falling in this game. Fortunately, none of us did. Injuries probably are going to come up at some point. I'll cover them when I do. Frost bombs. Like I said, this one has a little diamond with a line over it. That symbol there, that means frost. But we don't have anything of water magic. Yes, I mentioned on the Discord as well, the ice water magic is interesting because you actually need 2 points to get started in it all. So you need water magic and earth magic to do the most basic spell. Lizard on a stick. That's food. It's not even close to the worst food we're going to have to eat while we're here. So we're all doing fine food for the moment. And that's the first bit of the Twigroot tunnels. There's going to be more of them. Quite a lot more. The Twigroot forest itself is mostly just going to be a whole lot of Twigroots. That was good. And more sacks for Ano's collection of sacks. Uh-oh. That was a sneaky trick. If I hadn't run out of there at full speed, I'd been caught in the corner and just got battered. And you saw how much damage they do before when they were hitting Nosferatu. Don't know how I did that. Okay, if you're going to keep getting criticals, then I'm going to like you more. What did I get in that sack anyway? Another healing potion, make up for the one I drank, a baked maggot, I told you it got worse, and the scroll of Poison Bolt. Poison Bolt is the one of 2 redeeming features for Earth Magic. It only needs 2 points in Earth Magic compared to a total of 4 points across various skills to use the other Bolt type spells. Also it can poison enemies. And that's kind of a dead end for the moment as far as Twigroot Forest goes because we haven't got the key. What am I talking about? I literally just picked up the key. I'm still not going to go there because I've got more forest to explore. Grimrock is just like every other game in that you never go forwards if you can help it, you always go sideways. Wake up. Smacky smacky. There we are. I knew there was something down here. The Frostbite Necklace, plus 50 cold resistance. And since again we've got a little bit of downtime, I'll just quickly cover how resistances work. Resistances are affected by your stats. It doesn't list it here, but there it is. Strength affects fire resistance, dexterity affects shock resistance, vitality affects poison, and willpower affects ice. As you notice, because Nosferatu has ridiculous dexterity, she's got more shock resistance. Aino is the most flame-proof thing in the universe, except for Azanaka. Wizards get 25 by default, and he gets 25 from one of his traits, Demon Ancestor. But this door, in this rather flashy building, finally reveals something about the purpose of the game, the purpose of the plot. This is the Elemental Shrine of Fire. Fire is the rune of strength, magma, and heat. Northwest is whence the forces of fire are strongest. Oh Lord. Hear ye, O traveller of the dark. Beware of the elemental shrines. Once houses of light, now refurbished by the masters of the island, the shrines hold the keys to thy survival. Visit all of them, and do what the stone philosophers demand, and thee may be granted a way out, if that is what thee most desire. Bring forth 4 power gems to infuse them into the essence of the element. Not all of the gems lay under the skies, some of them are buried deep underground. And that's what that gem we found is for. If we can find 4 gems, we can make the elemental essence of fire, and they're somehow linked with us getting off the island. So now we actually have a goal and a plot. And a lot of ugly vines. This is basically most of what the Twigroot forest is just hacking through vines, finding the way into another bit of the Twigroot tunnels. And finding more ammunition so Azanaka can keep doing nothing much. Another locked chest, another Twigroot. Thank you. Azanaka, you've got the second highest dexterity in the party. Why do you keep missing? Like I said though, the lockpicks for chests are probably going to be around here. If I hadn't taken that tribal mask with the lockpicks there, I could have used them there. We're close to another level up at least. I think. Ow. There we go. Do you only get criticals when you actually hit something? Now this would actually let me move on from the Twigroot forest. I'm not going to do that just yet. There's a power gem. Now unfortunately we're bound to the unspoken laws of the universe and I can't just, walk there. I must stick to the grid. Like some sort of terrible American town planning. Look, just because this forest is named after you doesn't mean you can be freaking everywhere. It is nice to have a ranged option. There we go. Vitality, I forgot to mention that as well. Nosferatu with the mutation perk gains a random stat every time she levels up. She got vitality last time as well. Considering the only two stats she actually uses are dexterity and vitality, she's being quite cooperative. I am going to give her another point in light weapons, because now this is 4 to 13 plus strength, this is 3 to 10 plus dex, so I'm going to do that. She's now dual wielding. Notice her 2 weapons are on separate cooldowns. Dual wielding normally comes with a 40% damage penalty. It's 25 because she's a rogue. She gets reduced damage penalty as a bonus. Oh, another piece of light armor, which I'm not going to put on just yet because it would give her... Actually, tell you what. Another point in armor. Aino can now wear light armor without getting an evasion penalty. So she will. She's wearing a throne mask and the leather cuisse. Cuisse? I'm not actually sure. But she now has 14 protection. She's going to be a lot longer lasting in the front row. Second point in concentration would give us something very... Actually, just for some sort of holding a torch. No point in the day. Second point in concentration would do us some good, but fire we are using a lot. I don't actually need your alchemy yet. I would quite like to not have a risk of jamming my weapon. Oh yes, I actually got the points to show this off now. Note it has a special attack. Most weapons do, aside from the most very basic ones like Aino's Bone Club. If I hold down right click instead of just clicking on it, I use some energy and unleash a special attack. In this case it's called Leech. It's basically just a vampire attack. I gain health from the enemy that I hit. And as we continue here, meet the wargs. And quickly back out because where there's one dog there's usually more. There they are. Come on. God damn it, I literally just gave you a point to not do that. Time for another... Oh, for frick's sake. Time for another mechanic introduction. If there's more than one enemy on a tile, they take damage separately, but spells hit both of them. And this applies to us as well. If someone hits us with a spell, my back row is taking the pain as well. So spells are scary. We got ourselves some warg meat. Yes, we are eating dogs. There's a lot of them here. Did I get an energy potion at some point? Nope. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to quickly mix up an energy potion so Zimboy can actually do something. That was good. Oh my frigging god. I think he just jammed. That can't have still been the same jam. He must have jammed twice in a row. Ow! They attack really quickly. He's actually doing 20% more damage with his fire now because I put that extra point into it. I don't really need these, but I do need more space. Space is going to be the primary concern for Aino carrying things. She's such a pack mule that she's never going to get burdened down, but she can only carry so many things. Which is why she gets all the sacks and crates. Two jams and a miss. 2 jams and 2 misses. I am putting a point in accuracy as soon as I can with him. Ow. Mind you, everyone was missing there, so I can't blame him too much. Oh, it's a Twigroot. I didn't even see that. I'm serious, do you get anything but criticals when you hit? Mind you, notice that Aino did 20 damage with a swing there, which is almost as good as his critical. The baton, which is a light weapon for freak's sake. Still, the Zaffi robe here, protection +2, it's a little better than the stuff we've got. And Nosferatu's looking very stylish, which means we can give her a hat to Zimboy. People who miss and jam their guns don't get weapons and armor. Like I said, back into the Twigroot tunnels. And it's probably... Can you hear that? I hear rats. Oh boy. Let us blow the horn of battle to let them know we are coming. It's only fair. It doesn't actually do. Hello. Goodbye. That was the Island Master. Expect to see him. Okay, if there's no turning back, I'm... Ow! Meet the knife rattling. And as the name implies, ow, there's other kinds. Oh shit, that's a dead end. They attack very quickly, and at range they throw knives. Boop. Oh, I'm going to have to face tank here, because otherwise both of them are getting into this room, and potentially both be able to hit me. Also, they're durable. There we go. One of them I can dance around. Oh, and they can do that same turning trick that the Crusaders can. It's a trick you can sometimes pull off. If you turn away, the AI will be fooled into... I didn't do it right there. There. Turning away, you can trick enemies into moving because they think they're flanking you. I'm actually running out of ammunition on Azanaka. Which is why I'm going to pick these up. You can grab their throwing knives after they're dead. Might be good for him to have a backup weapon. Maybe I'll save my ammo for larger enemies. So then you can miss them as well. I'm sorry, I'm ragging on Azanaka a lot. Everyone is missing right now, just I noticed with the guy who can't get his ammunition back when he does. A leather cap, but we've already got a nice throne mask. Yeah, it's actually more protection. It just doesn't give energy. Scroll of Shield. Requires concentration 1. Yeah, Zimboy can only put a shield up on himself. Which is really nice if I'm a complete idiot and got the back row getting hit. Otherwise, it's a little niche. It's more intended for people who are doing a battle mage strategy where you take the front line. Also, I just seem to have got myself locked in. So first things first, we're going to check the walls really carefully. I guess not. Second thing, is there any button that I... Nope. I think we're going to take a fall. I'm going to save because I've got a bad feeling about whatever's down there. I regret all of this, and I hope your ankles forgive me. Ow. Sometimes things are hidden in plain sight. Did I just miss something? I suspect I did. But hey, free healing potion. Actually, you need that one. Fill this sack up with food and give it back to Aino. We've got nearly an entire sack of turtle. We have turned a turtle into a sack of food. Yep, I'm guessing I missed some. Oh my freaking god, I am blind as a bat. But at least we know what's down that pit. It's always a good feeling when you find out where the save crystal is. Because now if something goes wrong, you've got a backup. I heard growling. Ah, the poor plagues. This one stumped me for a while. Famine, cold, disease, and battle. There isn't actually a hint beyond those. I'll give you about 3 seconds to work out what the answer is. 1, 2, 3, and what I actually have to do is give each of these alcoves something that addresses the plague. In this case, famine, any sort of food. Cold, what did I put? Any sort of clothing. Disease, a potion. And battle, a weapon. Fortunately, that's a secret, and if you couldn't work it out, it's no big deal. It's a potion of willpower, which means it goes straight to Zimboy. He also gets a lizard on the stick. He earned it. And the spider silk cloak, this is interesting. +5 evasion, but -2 strength. I'll give that to Zimboy because he doesn't use strength. Also, he can barely lift his own arms at this point. Yeah. Actually, he didn't have the lowest strength, did he? Because insects get +1 by default. Whoops. Azanaka was the lowest. More ammunition. I can actually fire my gun pointlessly again. That's just a little restock room, it seems. So, with this healing crystal backing us up, let's continue onwards. Through the... Who are you then? You leprechaun-looking little son of a bitch. Who is cackling. And it sounds like he just dropped a smoke bomb. Can't seem to find out where he got to, and also he locked the door behind him because he's a jerk. Well, that doesn't bode well. Yeah, I hear a lot of rats. Ow. Oh yeah, rats can hit. Enemies can hit each other. You might have heard that one squeaked in protest when the knife hit him. We're going to be doing a fighting retreat and also looking at our map so we don't back into a corner. This one unfortunately only packed a rapier, which means he can't actually throw daggers at us, and it's going to have to step into range of us over and over again as we back up. Let's pretend I meant to intimidate him and didn't accidentally click the horn. Yeah, I was about to say behind him was a knife thrower. Come on. Let's show off the leech. Well, I got some life back. Leech isn't the most impressive of the special skills. That's also the specialty of the fighter as well. The fighter uses less energy to do them and charges them up faster. It's mostly useful for heavy weapons, to be honest, because heavy weapons swing so slowly, comparatively. Oops. I disagree with your durability, sir. You didn't even give me a knife, what a jerk. Ow! How do you like... You missed, of course you did. Stop throwing knives at me, it's really painful. Honestly, I'm doing nearly as well with that as I am with the gun. I'm going to stick with that for the moment. Okay, never mind. This is what happens when you have no points in throwing weapons. Wow! You are not good at frontline tanking. Also, you're getting targeted a lot. Aino has much lower dodge. Yeah, Aino has 1 evasion to your 16, but everyone keeps trying to hit her. Come on. Oh. Persistent little ratty bugger. This is why healing crystals are nice. Like I said, they always lag when you use them. Back into the fray. Considering it does say it's the nest and they're rats, I'd expect a lot of them. There's another. Oh, there's 2 of them, and he just threw some knives at his buddy. Things go a lot faster when Zimboy actually has the energy to do something. Ow, ow. I'm not actually much of a fan of Ratlings early on because I do think they have too much HP for how early they show up. Come on, one more. Ouch. That almost sounded like it hit Zimboy. Not sure how it could have done. And it didn't because he's not lost any HP. So I think this is the last of them. I am almost tempted to show off the bombs we got, but unfortunately they're frost bombs and don't actually do damage. They just freeze enemies in place. Which is very useful, it's just not what we need right now. There you go. You automatically recollect any weapons that you've thrown at them unless they land on a switch, which is simultaneously good and bad. It assumes that you wanted to land them on the switch. If an enemy just happens to die on the switch, though, it's a little annoying. I can still hear more rats. Hopefully they're not in this immediate area. Hey, Mudwort! That's another alchemical ingredient. Also, you can see my Falcon Skyre is multiplied. Falcon Skyre is mostly used in antidote type potions. Or you can just brew it on its own, in which case it's just poisonous and hurts you. Don't do that. I kind of thought that would have looped around. So let's just quickly double back to check out what's almost certainly a dead end. Oh. A cudgel! This is actually a heavy weapon. Aino has finally found her upgrade. She went from 9 to 21 damage to 15 to 38. That is pretty darn sweet. Also this thing. I think this is more world building than anything else, like their counterweights for gates. They're not actually functional in any way. Let's leave that bone there. Hello. I'm going to find you at some point and probably hit you with heavy objects. Still, aside of finally completing our goal, we have got Aino an upgrade. We have explored that path, so let's go up here. Also notice this caved in tunnel is actually functional in a world building sense. We're never going to get to uncover it, but it's nice to know that it's not just a random cave-in for cave-in's sake. It did go somewhere. Potion. Energy potion. Zimboy can do more stuff. I really could make more of these, but why? Be quick. Okay, that is an ominous looking statue. This is a very obvious pressure of those trapdoor and a button. Basically, now to summarize, since I solved that one without actually showing the failure, after you press it, a second after you press it, the trapdoor opens up. You don't want to be on it. And a second after that, the poison shoots at you. You don't want to get hit. You've got to run around the corner, let both of those traps happen, then make it through before the gate closes, well after the trapdoor has sealed up. And that gets us this power gem. Though I do wonder what's down the trapdoor. Same applies in reverse. Whoa! That's not ideal. And Nosferatu actually sprained her ankle when she landed. Or I think the Warg might have done it. As you can see, reduce movement speed and maximum load. So I bet healing potions cure all injury. Uh-oh. 2 enemies in one area, as we've shown, as I've stated, is very dangerous because we can get surrounded. Yes, enemies can inflict injuries. We're doing so much more damage with our new weapon, thank goodness. Enemies can inflict injuries on you. Not all enemies, I think, and certain enemies do it more often. Wargs are the first ones that can reliably do injuries to you. Ah! Oh my god, that was one hit. This is why I think Zimboy is going to be the first to die. He's an amazing damage dealer, but my god does he break under a stern gaze. There we go. Yes, injuries. Injuries to specific body parts. If your feet are injured, as we saw, blowpipes are ranged weapon, we don't need it. Missile weapon, I mean. An injury to your feet lowers the amount you can carry as well as the speed that you move at. An injury to your legs slows down, removes your energy regeneration. Chest removes health regeneration. Head lowers your accuracy by 50% as well as removing the ability to cast spells. Injuries to the arms prevent you from using whatever you've got in that hand. Rage potion. That is a temporary +10 to strength, I think, when drunk. So it's possible Aino will use it in an emergency. In all likelihood, I'll forget that I'm carrying it and never use it. And that's what we'd have had to put up with if we'd just fallen in the hole normally. You know, I think a warg might have actually fallen in the pit after me. The one that bit me. This is also why I said that food isn't going to be a problem. Aside of the fact that I'm solving puzzles at full speed, there's plenty of food in the game if you go at it. Oh, Jesus Christ. You can get jump scared a lot in this game. That one actually got me. I was too busy rambling about food and not paying attention to the random packs of dogs that want to tear my guts out. The first Grimrock was terrible about this. They were called ice raptors. Basically, they moved perfectly silently until they did that to you. And there were a lot of them. These little side gates are just where the wargs were until they opened up. I heard you. I'm giving all the lizard eggs to Azanaka because I think I explained this in the last video. There's a mechanic called favourite foods. Well, not each race. 3 of the races, apart from Minotaurs and humans, have something listed as their favourite food. If you eat enough of that food, they get a random stat up, similar to Nosferatu's mutation trait. I can't hear any more wargs, so I'll assume I got them all. And I'm going to run back to the healing crystal, which is hopefully regenerated, because I got a little savaged. There we go. As we can see, there's actually a couple more gates we haven't been to yet. Did we find a key? I can't actually remember. The key must be in these parts, so let's continue onwards. Oh great, more rats. There you are. Yeah, 1 damage, how do you like it? Oops. Dead end. Oh look, I've got a special attack with this. I'm not sure Aino actually has the energy to do special attacks. Willpower isn't her... Yeah, Aino literally doesn't have the energy to do it. Willpower is not her specialty. You gain your initial energy is based off your willpower, however every time you level up you get more. Same for health, and the amount you get per level is based off your class. Though Barbarian is the lowest willpower gain of any energy gain of any class. Unsurprisingly, Zimboy's Wizard is the highest. Though it's not. I'm not sure what Azanaka's is, but he literally can't use energy for anything, so it's not tremendously important to him. The Philosopher's Stone puzzle. Well, it's big, but it does have to turn lead into gold, so I guess it has to contain the magical energy somewhere. Same puzzle as we've seen a million times. You can put things through grates. You can also pick them up through grates. This one I remember. I think. There should be... Anyway, once we put something on that button, the floor lights up, and now all we can do is poke it, and it will drift in the direction that we poked. As you might be able to surmise, we need to get to that orange space. So it's simple, we reach through, and just like everything else, we can do this through a grate. We can't attack enemies through grates, so that's the one thing we can't do. And that opens up this wind gate. Though, as I'm sure you were wondering, there's a thingamy there. And I'm trying to remember if I know how to get that or not. That's a light weapon that scales to strength, so it's not really for any of us. There we are. You've got to keep your eyes out for these secret buttons. Sometimes the game is nice, like it was here. We actually got to see the prize beforehand, so we knew that there would be something to look out for nearby. 4 enemies on one spot who are all weak to fire. I'll let you guess who's going to be our star. In any case, they're mummies. I could just put up with this all day, and I will do if I keep aiming like this. It's a potion of vitality. Ano technically has lower vitality, but Nosferatu takes the hits much worse. Sorry, Ano. You can have any strength once we find, though. Through the wind gate. Oh, it's this room. Yeah. Okay. There's a pit to our left. There's a key right there. I'm going to grab this key. I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to run as fast as I can. Run, 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 run. Because not only is there this fellow, who I'm going to rush down as fast as I can do so. This is one of the advantages of dual wielding. You notice enemies flinch when they're hit. Because these two, and you can't see them, but there's another Crusader in there. If I hadn't run, I'd have been up against 4 enemies simultaneously in a room I don't have room to maneuver, and my only option would be to jump in a pit to get away. Instantly, because I got that wind gate open, I could have teleported out. You can actually telefrag enemies, but you don't get any experience for doing so, so I'm going to avoid it where possible. I think my torch burned out. No? It's just dark in here. Use some more ammo, to be honest. Switching back to daggers. Oh, there we go. Nosferatu gained willpower. That's useless. You can't win them all. Well, I'm tempted to keep leveling up her light weapons forever. I'm actually going to give her a point of dodge. Ano, you're going back into heavy weapons. Zimboy, I'm going to give you your concentration so I can show off the thing. Oh no, it's so dark. Whatever will I do? Not have any energy is what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? Yes, Zimboy has the light spell. This is another reason I desperately wanted concentration. It renders torches obsolete. Concentration is used for a great number of things. That's one of the most impressive utility spells, and I was in no way going to pretend I didn't know that combination ahead of time. Got ourselves some trousers, which means it's time to do the traditional sibling hand-me-down route. Aznaka just doesn't get hurt nearly as badly, so he doesn't need them. More points because jams suck. More ammo because running out of ammo sucks. And you might recall we found the key. Also, Skull Cleave. That's the weapon that the Crusaders use. They sometimes drop it. 7 to 22 versus 6 to 18. And it's actually a faster swing as well. Sorry, Cudgel, we only just got you, but we just found Ano's next upgrade. It's still not great, but it's certainly a step up from the Bone Club we were using not that long ago. Find our way back to this gate. Oh, right, I just realized something I forgot to do. Because I'm a moron. How did I wander this far that quickly? Yes. There's a hole there. And you know what we do with holes, don't you? We jump in them. Oh my god. That's non-ideal. It was his legs as well. He lost his ability to regenerate energy. Also, that was quite unlucky. As a insectoid, Zimboy has a halved chance of getting his body parts injured. No. Ow. Thank you for dying promptly. And naturally I don't have the energy to do that either. I can hear more rattlings down there, so I want to get this guy dead quickly. Oh yeah. Oh shite. I want to show off his trick, but also I really don't have the ability to do it safely, what with him there. I'm going to stick to the center of the room so I can't get flanked so easily. Actually no, I'm going to retreat. Bye. I don't know where I'm running, that's a dead end. This is why you don't run blindly. What is this? It's a firebomb, screw you. Hide! See the emergency switch there to the back row to get poor Ano out of the way. She got mullered by the knives. This is a game you can die very quickly, and this is why I shouldn't have done that. I should have stayed in the room. 2 enemies in one room is dangerous. Running blind down a corridor and finding a dead end is death. Ugh. Still, all's well that ends well. And we got stuff out of it. Some healing potions to make up for the fact that I had to chug a couple there. Lunchtime. Who needs to eat? There we go. But oh, for frig's sake, willpower. The rolls suddenly aren't cooperating. And that just opens the way out. There is sometimes good stuff down holes, sometimes it's like this, and it's basically just a penalty for falling. That's really just a penalty if you panicked when you saw the Crusaders and jumped down the hole. Still, as you can see, there is very obviously something past that hole. So I'm actually going to be observant and press that. That's another blowpipe. I still don't use missile weapons. It's a torch, which we made redundant, and the reed helmet. The reed helmet is protection +4, evasion +2, except -5 if you don't have light armor. I do have light armor, so I will take that, thank you. Ano is going to go to heavy armors eventually. I'm going to get Nosferatu up to light armors and probably give her the reed armor so she can become as evasive as possible. In the meantime, Ano gets to have it. Sort of a reed samurai set. Getting myself turned around here. I can still hear more rats, and I'm not sure where those ones are. Probably down here. Where there's one rat, there's a lot of rats. I'm actually not going to be stupid. I'm going to give Zimboy some help, some potions ahead of time. Everyone should have potions just in case. I don't think potions grow any faster. Herbs grow any faster if you have more than one. So there's no real point keeping more than one in your inventory. But that's also a lot of work to make all of them. And that's that little leprechaun we heard before laughing his head off because he locked us in a room because he's a jerk. Yeah, you. Yeah, come on, mate. You want to go? No, don't you dare. Whatever you're doing, don't. And he throws rocks at us because he's a jerk. That lever he pulled actually opened up a door which releases turtles, of all things. I mean, as far as threatening monsters to release go... Oh yeah, notice how he lured us over that trap. What do you think this lever does right as he ran to it? Ow. Right as he ran to it while baiting us across the trapdoor. I'm actually just going to reveal this one ahead of time. His name is the Trickster. He's an even bigger jerk than the Island Master. As you can see with his prancing, he's quite annoying to get a flank on. But you knock his hat off every time you slug him one. Ow! Do you mind? I'm having a battle with a leprechaun. Yeah, you just basically released food at us. Hey, come over here. Well, that works too. I was actually trying to lure him sideways so I could get... And you can't actually kill him because he smoke bombs out every time he gets low. Trickster comes and goes, but the pain stays, as Nosferatu can attest with her halved health. Yeah. Is there even anything in here? There's a quarterstaff, which is quite useful for Zimboy. You see, a quarterstaff, aside of being two-handed, is what's called a reach weapon. I think it is anyway. Just check. Yes, it's a reach weapon. Melee attacks can't be performed from the back row unless you are using a reach weapon. Basically, if Zimboy's got no magic left, he can do something at least now. He can reach out with his staff and hit people for like 1 damage. But it's something. This is another trap he didn't have time to get to. Again, it just releases food. Okay, that was entirely on me. I just whiffed at nothing. There's no point wasting magic on a turtle. These are basically just here in the fight to take up space, so the trickster can hopefully get a hit on you. But hey, we got a power gem out of it. There's a turtle behind that wall, I can hear it. Yep. You may notice that's 4 power... They hurt more than I thought they did. You may notice that we got 4 power gems now, which means if we get out of here alive, and considering we're fighting turtles, I think we will, then we can actually make that elemental essence of fire. Yeah, that 19 evasion is really working out for you, isn't it? There we go. We have got several sacks of food. Turtle steaks are one of the most filling foods as well. The game gives you a lot of them early on to make sure you got a backup for later. That was quite a lot of turtles. Okay, something in my brain is pinging me and it says there's a secret in this room. I'm just trying to remember where it is. Oh yeah, there's very obviously a button on that wall, which means there's some way to bring that up. So how do I do that again? It's down there anyway. We haven't been there, so I guess let's check it out. Actually, I'm going to show off another mechanic. First I'm going to rest, because that just speeds up time and lets our natural regeneration take care of things. You can't cure injuries with rest though. Just energy and health. Mummies are a nicer thing to drop into than ratlings. Oh yeah, I'm not going to use... You've got to be careful not to use leech on anything that's undead or it hurts you. Shrine of the Glutton. Place any 3 food items and it opens on up. To more mummies. There's a lot of mummies in this game. Fortunately, they're complete chumps. Stop that. Like I said, it makes a nice change from enemies that don't die. Like, actually, let's not break that one. Let's not let more out. For all of them trash talking them, they are actually kind of bashing me up a bit. Because again, Zimboy just can't take hits, and for some reason, no one ever hits as an Aka. Okay, I'm applying Dark Souls rules here, which is that any trash mob can be dangerous if there's enough of them and you're taking the piss. I thought he got a 4 for 1 there. There we go. Now you can take the piss when you've got room to move. Just for the sake of expediency. That After Ember effect is just visual for the moment, but once you get enough points in fire magic, you can actually set enemies on fire for a DOT. Speed Potion reduces the cooldown on all actions for a while after use. Again, not probably going to save it for an emergency and never use it. The Tome of Health increases the max health by 25. Huh. I'm not sure who needs that. Like, Zimboid nearly dies the most. Nosferatu is the one who takes the most hits. Sorry, Aino, again. Nosferatu needs to not die. She's the frontliner. If the front line goes down, I'm screwed. There's probably a secret in here that I'm forgetting, but I'm just going to take my food and leave. And the door will close after you take your Shrine of the Gotten Offerings back. Onwards we go. It's quite a large area you fight the Trickster over that you can drop into. There's the Wingate out. Ah, and there we have it. The favourite food of Ratlings, cheese. Because honestly, what else was it going to be? I am willing to bet I'm forgetting something, because in an area this large, it's pretty much an inevitability they'll have hidden something in here. That takes us back up to the entrance of where we fought him. So I just want to find the secret that's up that pillar over there, which is basically a matter of combing the walls. Oh yeah, the key he dropped, which I put somewhere, question mark? There it is. Rearrange my inventory so I don't forget where stuff is. Ah, there it is. Don't know if this is on a timer, so I'm going to move quickly. It's a potion of dexterity. Sorry, let's face it, that was only going to Nosferatu. The only other person who could actually use the dexterity is Azanaka. His dexterity is 17, that's acceptable. I swear I'm not trying to favour Nosferatu, she needs the help. Shurikens! If I was using throwing weapons, that would make me happy. As is, it's just trash fodder for holding down switches. Actually, what am I talking about? I am using throwing weapons as a backup. It's a recipe. It's going to be an alchemical recipe for a shield potion. Etherweed and mudwort. Scroll of Force Field. That was the dumbest possible place to cast it. I can't actually get out. So while we twiddle our thumbs, I guess I'll tell you about Force Field. Okay, that didn't last long. Its duration is based off your concentration stat. Force Field can be used offensively and defensively. Basically, I can use it. Let's say I'm fighting in here, I'm backing up in a panic. I chuck down a Force Field to stop the enemies from catching up to me. Or I can cast it directly on an enemy to prevent them from moving. In the meantime, I found the second piece of the reed set. Hand-me-down shuffle, once again. And more ammo. That presumably leads up and out to the Twigroot forest. And this long and complicated and winding route just leads to some bread and a note. I can see the shrine right beneath here. I wish I'd packed more provisions. It's just talking. That's just another hint to the Shrine of the Glutton. But this is your good old shortcut back to the healing crystal. But since we're done here, we don't really need it. We're going to head up and up to this little corner of the Twigroot forest. Click. Hello, I remember you. We've all had some level ups, and some equipment ups since. They get a lot less scary rather quickly. Here's lockpicks, and here is some more ammo, desperately needed, and a buckler. The buckler is a wrist item. which is evasion +2, so again it's going to everyone's favourite rat. Hang on a minute. No, that's not actually a space, despite looking like one. So, we'll go for one last quick mop-up of this spot over here, which I didn't bother exploring for some reason. I sworn I had some extra lockpicks. And then we're going to turn it into the gem. This sign, it's going to mean something eventually. Unfortunately, at the moment, I have to pretend that I have no idea what it's talking about. I wonder if I missed any walls around here. This is another way out. Again, that's going to mean something eventually. Right now, it's just a cryptic message that means nothing much. And I think that's actually it, so I'm going to cash in my 4 gems and get myself the elemental essence of fire. Oh, and you notice again, it's the triangle with a line under it. That's the alchemical symbol of fire. I quite like that consistency. Watch ourselves a light show. I don't really want to touch that with my bare hands, but I guess Zimboid can have it. Directly, it doesn't do anything. As much fun as it would be to throw it at somebody and see what happens. And that was the Twigroot Forest. Let's just take a look into the next area. Sleet River. Sleet River? No, Forgotten River. Sleet Island is the next area. I'm just going to run straight here so I can see a thing. Welp. Two legs and two wings. I'm going to call that a pseudo-wyvern. And I'm also going to call it a day. That was Twigroot Forest. Tomorrow we'll be exploring the Forgotten River and probably more. In the meantime, thank you all for watching again. Thank you all so much, and I'll catch you next time.